Today on the channel, like a young Kevin Dubrow, we bang our head like a young Metalhead GI Joe Classified series.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another GI Joe Classified series, unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got a brother, a metal brother, with Metalhead GI Joe Classified series. But for all your GI Joe Classified series needs, and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free, as we do know. However, I got this one from Hasbro Pulse. Got back from my trip to Chicago to a really heavy metal show called Minsky. I don't know what it was, but my daughter and her friends and my wife enjoyed it, so that's all that matters at the end of the day. But Metalhead, now you're playing a lot of hits for me, as Metalhead was a childhood favorite of mine in my 3 3/4 days. Of course, being a little kid that loved himself some heavy metal. Started with my dad and the Quiet Riot cassette tape he had way back in the day. That started my metal journey at an early age, and the rest truly is history here. So when Metalhead came out when I was a kid, I was like, oh man, this guy's cool. He's a metalhead, and that's what he was up to here. Now, of course, he was from the Deke era, and he was always hunting for the Deke. We knew that back in the day. He was always on the prowl trying to find that in the Deke cartoon. However, the worst part about Metalhead in there was you always have like a fascination with your toys back in the day, and you have like, you build up stories of what this guy does and what he's about in your playing days. Then you see a cartoon version of him. Sometimes it hits home, sometimes it's better, sometimes it's way worse, and that was with Metalhead. If you ever watched the Deke cartoon, he was like a bumbling idiot. I absolutely hated it. It's one of the biggest misses in GI Joe history. He should have been hard rock and heavy metal dude, but he should have like been a little bit more together, not just some buffoon, and that's what they played him out to be, and it really did ruin the character in a lot of ways for me. I don't know if you're similar to me or not.
I'll see it burn!
All-timer back in the day, leading the charge with Destro as the leader, of course, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Another controversial aspect. We'll talk about that when we get to the packaging, and of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's bang our head like a young Kevin Dubrow once again. Shout out to Quiet Riot back in the day. Bigger deluxe style figure here because he's got all that artillery. He's got all that heavy firepower ready to go. Like a young Judas Priest, he's ready to rock out, of course, as we do know. Maybe rocking out over to the Deke cartoon. You never know. You never know what he might be up to here. Classified logo, a little glamour shot. Of course, the figure, all the bells and whistles here. We'll dive into all of that. There he is on the side with a knife. He's going to do some cutting and maybe some strutting, too. You never know what he might be up to here. 118 is the number. You got the QR code. We're not scanning that. Come on, let's be honest. We're not doing that. Jibber Jabber City down at the bottom, and then a little action figure glamour shot, diorama kind of thing going there. There's like a train going on. It looks like our boy Naugahide's on there. Can't wait for that one. Another all-timer. Another guy that was hunting for the Deco back in the day as well, so we'll talk about that when that day does come here. It doesn't look like anything else. Cobra Metalhead. Just shows a few things here, but it does say, yep, right here, Iron Grenadiers. To me as a kid, once again, nobody ever pronounced these things. You just read it, and it was always Iron Grenadiers to me. But apparently it's Grenadiers. Grenadiers? What did you call it back in the day? And I don't know how you even do it, but that's how I read it, and that's how I think in my brain. But I'm looking forward to Destro, and his like Air Chariot would be a really good one. Of course, some good army builders. I wonder if we'll get that sub-team in the future. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a Hobby Lobby exclusive. I don't know where they'll put that. We got Night Force at Walmart. We got Tiger Force, Python Patrol over there at the old Target stores. Where else can we go with this? Where can we get the Iron Grenadiers, Grenaders, whatever you want to say. Cobra logo in the background looking good. See you later. Goodbye. And how about this? Plastic Prison City. Look at Metalhead right there. All kinds of stuff going on. Love the layout and the packaging, though. There's no doubt. And he's all taped in. He's ready to go. I'm going to take this offline. I'm going to get this Metalhead out of the package, and we'll be back talking all things Metalhead. All right, let's get down to Metalhead business here. Let's start off the accessories per the course. And we're going to start off, he's got a little knife. We saw it on the side of the package. Got it right here, a little silver blade, little black on the side, of course. Looking good. You can store that right into his chest. We'll talk about that here in a second. Then we got some weapons going on. We got a little standard issue Cobra, and I guess Iron Grenadiers, Grenaders, whatever you want to call them. You are right. So there you go. But we do got that here. Instead of all black, we got some red, little maroon color. Looks like we got a little bit of magazine. All we do. And we got an old favorite. It's an old classic magazine. It is Metal Edge. Shout out to Metal Edge magazine. I heard they were making a comeback. I don't know how well that worked for them. But shout out to Metal Edge. A lot of good times in elementary and junior high reading Metal Edge magazine in study hall and recess, things like that. Shout out to Metal Edge magazine. So we do got a weapon here. Of course, he's got to have some firepower, as we do know. And we got a big old heavy-duty machine gun going on here, looking really, really nice. Once again, another magazine. And, of course, he's on brand right here. It's Metal Hammer out of the UK. Shout out to Metal Hammer magazine. One of my favorite magazines of all time is Metal Hammer. Get all your Metal Hammer news, all your heavy metal news, things like that. Some deep stuff there as well. A lot of good stuff on Metal Hammer. And then it is uniform packaging. Uniform weapon, how about? We do got the black here, and then you got that maroon color. Bringing it all back home, once again, like a young Bob Dylan, a true metalhead Bob Dylan, as we do know as well. Now we get into this big old apparatus here, and frustration, hard times, disappointment, a little bit of that with this here. But it does got his backpack here, and this just plugs in like a traditional backpack in the G.I. Joe brand. But you got these big blaster cans up here at the top, and they got a nice mechanical arm that does have movement. You can go side to side, you go up and down, very cool there. And then you can move them on the arm here, all over the place. Plenty of articulation here. I really, really do like that. I think that looks really, really cool. I am here for that. Black throughout, but a little bit of silver stuff on there. And then you got these pipes, wires coming out as well. They are removable, so you can remove those if you need to for whatever reason. But the rest in black right here, but looking very, very awesome. And then what you got right here is these attachments here, these effect pieces, and they do come apart here. So you got the missile here, you got the smoke and blaster effect, stick them together, choose your own adventure, as we do say, and they plug right into the end of this. Whoops, wrong side. Right into the end right there, and you can have him blasting off, shooting off things, because he's Metalhead at the end of the day. He's ready to blast off and shoot all this stuff. Now, I will say, talk about a pain getting out of the package. Very frustrating. Finally got them all out, but boy, they were locked in there. Going to be really hard to be a figure swapper with this one. A lot of work goes into trying to get these out of the package. With the missile, nice yellow color against the effect piece like we've seen in the past, but really, really cool. And this guy's got some serious heavy artillery. There's no doubt about it. Now, you do get 2 big ones, and you get 4 smaller versions of the same thing. So, once again, choose your own adventure, as we always do say. So, we do have those. And now we got the side pieces here. Now, he's got those 2 pegs on the side of his thighs. You plug those in there, and the smaller ones will go in here. So, kind of the same thing going on. He's ready to take off. He's ready to blast everybody into the next week, I guess, with all that heavy artillery on him. So, that's all of his effect pieces. That's what makes him the deluxe figure he is, for those keeping track at home. Now we get real interesting in these head sculpts here. We're going to go one by one on this one. Now we do get the head right out of the package. He's got his teeth gritted. He's just, flinching them right there. He's ready to go. He's a little, you got to be a little uneasy. Never know when these things might explode on you. So you always got to be prepared for the end, I guess, what you got to do when you're blasting this stuff off. But Metalhead not messing around. Got a nice goatee here, like a young Jonathan Frakes. Question of the week. Oh, remember those glory days on the Toy News of the Week? We used to have, or it was weekly purchases. We used to have the Jonathan Frakes question of the week. Oh, Jonathan, give me some more questions. It would be great. But he does got a nice goatee going on there. And then jet black hair, long mullet type hair, flowing a little bit in the wind. Looking real good, looking like a metalhead at the end of the day. 2 big old caterpillars on his eyes up there. A little bit of rays there, so he's up to it. And then he does got a little tattoo underneath his eyes. I guess he spent some time with prison, or maybe hung out with the Undertaker back in the Attitude Era. I'm not exactly sure. I guess after he was done searching for the Deke on the Deke cartoons, he went over maybe to the WWF and was hanging out with Taker. Who knows? Somebody fact check that if you want to. But a good head sculpt on this one here. However, his hair is removable. You can take the hair off. Then he's just a bald guy, and he's got some big old damaged spots in his head. You could say, hey, he had a bad explosion gone wrong, blew his hair off, put some big chunks out of his head. Who knows? You could say that if you wanted to. But then you do get this, which is really cool. This is more OG Metalhead to me. This brings it back to the 3 3/4 look. This is probably the way I'm going to go. the direction I'm going to go to display this one here. But he's got the goggles over the front. Looks like he means business. He's ready to go. And you got that same kind of black flowing hair with all that. Does all come together. Looks very, very nice if I can get it off. So we do have that. Then after that one, this is kind of something new, but really, really cool here, as it is kind of like a Roman gladiator type helmet on there. You got spikes over the top. You've got like a buzzsaw in the middle. You got kind of that samurai armor as well, and you got a little protection down the front. Bright yellow eyes here, and with that gritting teeth look and stuff, it makes him look dangerous. A far cry from his time hunting for the Deke in the Deke cartoon, where he was just a bumbling fool. This guy looks like a guy you better respect and looks extra dangerous here. Not quite on brand for me, but boy, it looks really, really nice. But I think I'm going to have to display mine with the OG look. I don't know. I don't want to do it, but I'm almost tempted to wait. Maybe down the road we'll get this guy on sale or on clearance or something. I might get another one just to display with the different looks. We'll see. I mean, this is a nice figure, and it's one of my favorite figures from my childhood. Like I said, I absolutely had a whole thought process in my head as a little kid of how this guy was going to act and feel, and then I see the Deke cartoon, and it just erased almost all of that from my head. Just very, very difficult to put those two together, to me, at least in my brain, and maybe I'm the only one on that. Who knows? But diving into the rest of this figure here, of course, he's got a big protective vest on. We got the backpack here. You plug that into. We saw about that. Plug in the knife on the front here. He does got that little chin guard here. You got to dug it down in when you're blasting all that stuff. And very cool, it does say Cold Slither on there. Now, they can't say Judas Priest. They can't say Black Sabbath on here. They just can't do that. But Cold Slither, they can, and that's on brand for Metalhead. Obviously, Cold Slither, the Dreadnoks heavy metal band. There you go. But I do like that little Easter egg tying the Joe universe together. I think that is really cool. Now you get the gray and maroon color throughout on this one. Makes sense once again, but it looks very, very nice. Very uniform-like in the packaging, or in the figure, I guess. In the packaging too. But looks very, very nice. He's got two trigger hands, of course, as he would. Gray up to the top. You do got the Destro logo on the arm there, of course. In a lot of circles, his right-hand man for me. He definitely was when I was a kid. So that does look really good here. We got those pegs on the side of the thigh we talked about. Pegs in those two blasters off there, looking very nice. Got some knee pads going on, and then you do, of course, got the kind of tuffled pants on him in gray color once again. And then you got a little bit of that maroon in the bootlaces, and then you got the gray boots on Metalhead right here. Now, articulation, he does got a little butterfly joint action. You got a bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows. Hits continue to be played. Arms all the way around, of course. Hands back and forth, side to side. Waist articulation. Is there an ab crunch in there? There is an ab crunch in there. Feeling good. Head back, forth, side to side, up and down. We saw the hair being removable. Big old splits if you need them. Does he got the drop down hips? He does, but not as deep as some of the other Joes. So that is interesting. Not as quite as deep. You do get a thigh cut nicely hidden over here. Looking very nice. Double jointed pinless knees. Looking nice as well. Boot cut. Ankles back, forth, side to side. Up and down. The usual articulation right there. And of course, does he fit on a Ringside Collectibles Mattel stand? Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% at Ringside Collectibles. He does fit on there. So this is a cool one here. This came a little bit earlier than I thought it would have been. I think I would have saw maybe a year or two down the line they would have came out with Metalhead, but I'm here for this. I'm a Metalhead at the end of the day. I'm glad we got this one, and it does work as a deluxe figure. He does got more bells and whistles with this backpack than your average Joe or Cobra figure, so it does work out okay in my book here. But I guess this one might not be for everyone. There's a lot of people that weren't hunting for the Deke back in the day. I was one of those kids. I've really never been hunting for the Deke myself. Maybe you have, but not me. But the Deke cartoons were not on. The Dragonfly episodes, the miniseries, we got that one, and that's all I ever saw. I never saw the rest, and I was just so jealous of people that got to see this one. Of course, I was a little kid. There was no internet, things like that. It wasn't until many, many years later that I got to see the entire series. Some episodes were good. Some were pretty god-awful as far as G.I. Joe cartoons go. But Metalhead, a guy that stole my heart and also disappointed my heart in a lot of ways. But his figure does not disappoint. It's got stuff from the past. It's got stuff from the future. It's got everything that makes the G.I. Joe Classified Series line great. And I'm here for this. Bring on more Grenadiers, Grenaders, whatever you want to call them. I'm here for some more of those. Hopefully we see some more of those in the future. Maybe a San Diego Comic-Con box set. Maybe something like that. Get some of those troop builders. Get us the Destro with the gold mask and the sword and the cape. Cape season, of course, in the summer. It's perfect. We'll see what ends up happening in the future here. But I do know I like this Metalhead a whole lot. And how about about you? Do you like this Metalhead? Are you here for this? Was this a must-have for you? Let me know your thoughts. And were you like me, or am I the only one that was like really blown away how bad he was in the Deke cartoon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over on Patreon. Early access to both YouTube channel videos, monthly Q&A, giveaway, bonus stuff, you name it. Best of all, you do support the channel, of course, as you guys know by now. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And then don't forget, over on Barnes & Noble for the exclusive hardcover edition. Soft cover available over on Amazon. That's where the best place to buy that. It is my book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Classic Superstars series. Almost 700 pages of Classic Superstars goodness by yours truly. Thank you guys and gals for all the support. And of course, you can pick up an autographed copy through me if you are into that kind of thing. Hit me up at SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Metalhead, we're going to bang our head, and I'll see you guys all real soon.